to Hyundai Sunday, presented by your Atlanta Hyundai dealers.
Good Sunday afternoon to everyone in Braves country, and welcome to SunTrust Park as we get ready for the finale between the best two teams in the National League East, your Atlanta Braves and the Washington Nationals. The last 72 hours have been dramatic, entertaining, and very productive for our side. I'm Andre Aldridge. What a great afternoon we have in store for you right here as the Braves look to continue to handle their business. Anibal Sanchez will take the mound, and after the break, Chip, Joe, and Jeff Francoeur will have the first pitch. You don't want to miss 1 minute. All coming up next.
Presented by your Atlanta Hyundai dealers.
Big crowd on a hot and sticky Sunday in Atlanta as the Braves and Washington Nationals wrap up our 4-game series. The Braves trying to wrap up what could be a 5-3 homestand if they can take 3 out of 4 from the Nationals. Welcome back upstairs with Joe Simpson, Jeff Francoeur, Chip Carey with you Anibal Sanchez gets the ball. He's had good luck against the Nationals, and hopefully the Braves can put the 14-inning disappointment behind them very quickly today.
Yeah, that was a tough one last night or yesterday afternoon into the night, and the fact that the Braves went so many innings, 1, 2, 3. Hopefully they can get their offense geared up today. It is a hot one.
Yeah, they got to find a way to put yesterday behind them quick. They got still a chance to take 3 out of 4, which would be a great finish to the homestand. Got to get after it.
Anibal Sanchez, just the guy to do that. He is a Nationals killer. If you look at his career numbers, Joe, very impressive work for the Braves right-hander.
Yeah, he's 9-1 lifetime, 2.11 ERA. But I like these numbers, those numbers in situations. That shows you what a good pitcher he is, how he doesn't panic. And his 4 keys to the game today, getting good counts to use his breaking ball and sinker. And again, with those records, 9-1, have the confidence to beat them.
Trey Turner, the first man up for the Nationals. The Washington shortstop had a rough day at the plate yesterday. 0 for 7 with 5 strikeouts. That also snapped his 13-game hitting streak. And a little dribbler hit toward third. Camargo in and across, and Sanchez gets a tapper for out number 1. Very interesting lineup for Dave Martinez in Game 4 of this series. He's got Juan Soto hitting second, not Bryce Harper. And the interesting part of that is Harper gets a day off today. The Washington team has a day off tomorrow. It's interesting that Dave Martinez isn't playing Harper with a chance to perhaps split this series.
I thought that was very unusual. Could come to town and split and be back in first place for the off day, sitting his best player.
You know what? It is a little different, but I remember Bobby used to do that a little bit with Chipper. Obviously, Chipper was a little bit older. But, you know, he used to like to give someone a couple days off. And you know what? Maybe Bryce needs it. Maybe he's been grinding on himself. But you're right. I'm glad he's off.
Harper 1 for 13 in this series and struck out his last 3 at-bats yesterday. So Soto and company will try to take advantage of Anibal Sanchez, and that's fouled away. Soto had a very impressive day yesterday. 3 for his first 3, and in the 7th inning, he's the reason why we played extra innings. He hit an 0-2 pitch out of the park to tie it up 3-3. That came in the 7th. And then in the 11th inning, he was called out on a check swing strikeout with the bases loaded. That was a big lift for Jesse Biddle, who was outstanding in relief.
That's why a Sunday day game's supposed to be hot, humid. Takes you about 1 minute to get loose.
I used to love it. I'd rather have it like this than what it was in April and cold.
No doubt.
Not to mention, as a hitter, the ball flies.
And there is a breeze blowing ever so slightly out toward left and left center. As another number, Sanchez will take it to the bag himself. And away and a ball. No trouble with a hamstring there. You might recall that was what sent him to the disabled list for roughly a month. Running sprints in the outfield, and he went down in a heap. And it was a shame because he'd pitched so well against the Cubs in his previous start. But he's got the first 2 Nationals on slow tappers to start his day, and that brings up Anthony Rendon.
This is his second start since coming back from the DL. He made his start on the 29th of May against the Mets. 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs. Got off to a bit of a slow start, but not today.
I thought you made an interesting point before the game talking about the style of pitching for Hellickson and Sanchez, 2 crafty veterans at this stage.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we talk about. I guarantee you Sanchez struggled with location some for him when you lay off like he did, Joe, because, you know, when he was with Detroit and Florida before, he was 94, 95. He had some overpowering stuff. Yeah. And now he's got to hit his spots. He knows that. He doesn't have that. And I guarantee that was part of the struggle.
Welcome to the game there, Kurt.
Little pop behind first. Albies drifts out, says he's got it, and he does. Very easy and impressive start for Sanchez. 3 outs, 9 pitches. Atlanta takes aim at Jeremy Hellickson next. today. Big cheer for Sid Bream as always. Hopefully Atlanta will be cheering as Jeremy Hellickson is 2-0 to start the year. See if Atlanta can change that.
He's out of Des Moines, Iowa, 31 years old, 6'1", 205. His last 5 starts, outstanding, a 1.30 ERA. 2-0 lifetime against the Braves, but the Braves offense has got to get it kicked into gear today. Yesterday, 10 of their 14 innings at the plate, they went 1, 2, 3, including the last 7 straight. I think there were 22 in a row overall retired. Got to get it going. However, talking to some of the hitters before the game, they couldn't see, and I was told that it was actually dangerous because of the shadows. The hitters could not see the baseball.
Wow. Guys throwing 95 miles an hour and you can't see it.
Even the umpire, Adam Hamari, made a comment that he was having trouble seeing the ball in that 4-10 start that ultimately led to all those shadows across the field.
Well, no such issues as we start today at 1:35. As a ground ball off the bat of Ender is rolled to second base, and he's quickly out number 1.
You know, you talk about Hellickson kind of reinvent himself. 2 years ago, the Phillies thought so much of him after his year that they tendered him a contract, and he declined in free agency, but that was for 17.4, or sorry, he accepted it.
That's right.
Which ended up getting 17.4. And like I said, he's really, since he's added that curveball, he's always had it, but since he's made it a big pitch in his arsenal, he's really kind of stepped up. I couldn't believe nobody picked him up this year.
I couldn't either,
It was
Jeff.
crazy.
Ozzie Albies the batter. Ozzie 0 for his last 10 and 2 for 13 in the series.
Yeah, the Nationals did a really nice job. I mean, they signed him to a minor league contract on a make good basis, and of course he ultimately did. But the same for Mark Reynolds, going out and getting him.
The fact that Jeremy Hellickson signed a minor league deal blows my mind.
That's pulled to the right side. Reynolds flips on the run. Hellickson can't handle it. Ozzie's going to head to second base as the ball dies in the first base coaching box. And Hellickson might have hurt himself reaching for that ball at the first base bag. And this is nightmare scenario time for the Nationals today.
That did not look good as he was trying to come to a stop over there.
And I'll tell you this, unless it's a small cramp, which I don't think it is, this has got to be the end of the day for him, Joe. You can't pitch with that.
Too high a toss from Reynolds.
And that's an example of where speed maybe made Reynolds get rid of that ball a lot faster than he wanted to. And Hellickson immediately grabbed the upper right portion of his leg as he slowed down past the first base bag.
That's not a typical spot for a cramp. Cramp's usually lower in the leg.
He's trying to walk it off. He's still trying to stretch that leg out. Paul Lessard is the head athletic trainer for the Nationals, who yesterday used Madsen, Solis, Kelly, Kinsler, Miller, and Doolittle. Miller went 4 innings of perfect relief. He was the man that pitched the longest for Washington yesterday.
It's a bullpen's nightmare right here.
And they are already signaling to the bullpen. It doesn't look like Hellickson's going to be able to continue.
Maybe when he reached back to try to hit the bag with his right leg, maybe that's when he did it.
I think it was the second one, like you said, Joe. I think it's when he reached back. I don't think it was right when he landed. I think it's when he tried to kind of tiptoe, and like I said, that's his push-off foot. There's no way.
Jeffrey Rodriguez is the man being summoned.
So Rodriguez, touted as having the best fastball in the Nationals minor league system, has made his way from Harrisburg to a big league mound in an injury situation. brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. By Delta and by Synovus, the bank of here. Little shame for Jeremy Hellickson, trying to field a high throw from Mark Reynolds at first base. He injures his right leg and has to give way to Jeffrey Rodriguez, the 24-year-old right-hander out of the Dominican Republic, who, as I said a moment ago, has made the jump from Double-A to the major leagues. And talk about coming in a hot spot. Well, here he is in Atlanta, having to pick up Hellickson in the very first inning.
Big guy, 6'6", 232. Just 24 years old, as Chip said, out of the Dominican. Last year at Potomac, 4-3 with a 3.32 ERA, 12 games, 10 starts, and has struck out a ton of guys in the minor leagues.
So talk about this, fellas. You prepare all day for Jeremy Hellickson, a guy you've seen before. You're geared up, and you're 2 batters into the game. He's knocked out, and I'm sure the Braves are facing a guy they have never, ever seen before. That's a challenge.
That's when you call Gwinnett and say, what you got? Anybody down there know this guy?
We came from Double-A, right?
Yeah, from the Harrisburg
Yeah,
Senators.
you can't even call Gwinnett.
No.
Well, he was a starting pitcher down there, so you figure he's stretched out. And he was the emergency man for the Nationals. And, well, here he is facing Freddie Freeman with Albies at second on the 2-base error and 1 out. And Freddie lifts the first pitch up to the left side. Rendon gives chase over near the tarp. He's got room. He reaches in and he pulls it back. And there's the second out. So Freddie goes after the first one, pops out.
Needed a fan to interfere with that one.
Yeah. You know, Rodriguez, this is interesting, Joe, because I always said when a guy comes up like this, there's 2 things about it. A, he's thrilled to death because he's getting to throw this game and pitch. But B, there's a good chance they're going to say, hey, throw 5 or 6 innings, and then we're going to bring a fresh arm up tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, that could possibly happen. He could also be running on adrenaline at the moment, and maybe next inning doesn't have that and loses it a little bit.
Nick Markakis, the batter, with a runner at second, 2 outs. Nick has hit safely in the first 3 of this series. And a ground ball right side. That's through for a base hit. Here comes Goodwin up cleanly. Ozzie around third. Throw to the plate is not cut off. Markakis to second is going to be out. But the run will score before the 3rd out is recorded at second base. Nick Markakis with his 39th RBI, and Atlanta plates that unearned run and takes a 1-0 lead to the 2nd inning here in Atlanta. Nick Markakis comes through. Braves strike first in Game 4. base hit, extending his hitting streak to 4 games, his 39th RBI. Ozzie scores to make it 1-0. That run charged to Jeremy Hellickson, who's departed with a leg injury. So Sanchez has a lead. Let's see what he can do with Reynolds, Goodwin, and Taylor here in the Washington second.
I love the way the ball was put in play in the top of the first inning for Anibal. You know, weak ground balls, weak pop up.
Reynolds starting in place of Matt Adams, who had his foot crushed last night on a foul ball. He was hurting so badly he had to come out of the game after his 4th inning at bat. And normally this would be an Adams game. Instead, it's Reynolds who lifts one toward left. Tucker broke back, still going back, and measures it up and makes the play. Reynolds pops out. 1 away here in the second. And Brian Goodwin, the batter. Goodwin came on as a pinch batter in the 11th inning and was hit by the first pitch Jesse Biddle threw. Jesse walked 2 in that inning, and as Joe mentioned yesterday, in between struck out the side and then struck out 5 more guys. 8 strikeouts in 3 innings of work for Biddle. The most strikeouts by a Braves reliever in 3 innings or less in 110 years. That's pretty good,
I'll say.
Josh Hader of Milwaukee struck out 8 in 2 2/3 innings. Ron Davis struck out 9 in 3 innings back in 1981. So pretty heady company for Jesse Biddle.
But Ron Davis was tough. Ike Davis's father.
Right. One and 2 for Goodwin, playing right field for Bryce Harper today. And strike 3 paints the outside corner. That's more Anibal Sanchez like. He knows how to pitch, and he's gotten the first 5 in order.
I had a good talk with Anibal. You see him here just painting the corner, Joe.
Beautiful.
Right thing. I had a good talk with him a couple days ago. You know, faced him all the time in Florida when he's with Detroit. And he said, I'm lucky. He said, I finally decided to adapt last year and just face the facts that my stuff's not what it used to be. And he said, I'm glad I got another opportunity. He said, I wish I would have done this 2 years ago when I was with Detroit. And he said, I just couldn't accept it.
Another soft ground ball right to Freddie Freeman. 6 up, 6 down for Sanchez. He's rolling. Just 17 pitches, 8 in the second.
Sherwin-Williams. Your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. And by SunTrust. Confidence starts here.
Jeffrey Rodriguez back to work in relief for Washington. Jeremy Hellickson left with a leg injury of some sort on an error at first base. Nick Markakis cashed in the 2-base miscue into the game's first run. And now the Braves go to work here in inning number 2. Suzuki, Camargo, and Preston Tucker are coming up. Mentioned that Rodriguez ought to be stretched out. Our ace stat man upstairs, Jared Burleson, tells us that Rodriguez threw 87 pitches for Harrisburg on Thursday, which was 3 days ago.
Like I said, adrenaline will help you for a while.
Yeah.
But it won't carry you the whole way.
I mean, that's 3 days ago, but it's 2 days rest if you think about it. You never see that. And a day game. I'm sure that was a night game Thursday night.
And he was just called up today, so I don't know what time he got here yesterday or this morning. Quick turnaround.
1 ball, 1 strike. And Kurt fouls one over the screen and into the seats.
You know, Joe, I would bet he got here this morning if you think about it, as long as last night's game went.
Yeah. This last thing they needed, as Chip said, after a 14-inning game.
Broken bat liner down the line in left, and that's going to curl foul.
How'd that get foul? Kurt doesn't hit him in foul territory.
It's against the rules.
Yeah.
Kurt's usually better keeping it on that line than that.
Yeah. Another good crowd. This has been a great weekend. This 4-game set with the Nats brought a lot of folks to the ballpark.
As it should have.
These Braves players are lighting up the fans. It's great.
$39,000 plus here yesterday as that one's tipped and caught. Pushed the Braves season attendance total to 831,000, averaging just below 31,000 fans per home date. And again, the Braves haven't had many home games this year. This is the 28th of the season. Atlanta 15-12 so far here at SunTrust Park.
Yeah, you're on pace for about 2.5 million right there. I didn't go to college and I know that math.
That was
amazing.
Some great multiplication right
there. Appreciate it.
Here's Yohan Camargo. He's had a good homestand. 5 homers on the year. 3 of them have come on this homestand. 2 against the Mets. And then a 430-foot missile to center field yesterday that gave the Braves a brief 3-2 lead.
I feel like I'm street smart, Joe.
Oh, you are. I've seen you in the street a lot.
Did he swing? He did not. Ball 3. It's 3-0. Jeff will be joining Jim Powell on the radio side for the upcoming road trip. And the Braves head to San Diego and Los Angeles.
Yes, I guess tune in. If you're only in your car driving somewhere.
Right, of course, yeah.
Of course.
A hot shot by Camargo into center field, a base hit. So the Braves bats waking up here in the early innings. That's good to see. Camargo hits now in 7 of his last 8 games at the plate.
I think Yohan's coming into a real good stretch for himself. He's kind of weathered that 210, 215 average period where he was struggling a little bit, but especially left-handed, he's making great contact.
And I think it's great for him to know, hey, I'm playing every day at third base. It gives you a confidence that you just can't get. And, you know, I totally believed I liked the Batista thing. I thought it was worth it. Thought, you know, why not? But at the end of the day, he helps us win ball games, Yohan.
Here's Preston Tucker. Shift on for him, and down and in. 1 ball, no strikes.
I agree with you. I thought the Batista thing was a good look-see.
Absolutely.
What's he got? And end result is it just took some at-bats away from Camargo for a while, but he's beginning to get back into a groove.
One ball, no strikes. And that one all the way to the backstop. Keyboom couldn't make the play. And Camargo moves up 90 feet. Might have been a cross-up. We'll wait and see how that's scored. This is tough duty for the catcher, too. Probably hasn't seen this kid since spring training. And it's a passed ball.
You know, there are times where I've talked about outfielders blocking the ball from their eyes. They put the glove right in front of their face. That's exactly what happened to Spencer there.
It just kept coming up.
Braves have a platoon in left until Ronald Acuna Jr. comes back. Tucker facing the right-handers, Culberson the lefties. And that one sailed outside, ball 3.
I'll say this about Kieboom. Last inning, after that throw went all the way to home plate on Nick's base hit, he threw a BB to second base to get Nick. Good arm.
One nothing Atlanta, 2 hits. Camargo at second. And Tucker takes a 4-pitch walk. Funny what happens when you can actually see the ball, huh?
Yeah, again, talking to the Braves hitters, there was genuine concern talking about how dangerous it was yesterday and not being able to see the pitches.
Joe, I think you hit it head on when you were talking about Rodriguez out there. I think the adrenaline's gone off a little bit. I mean, throwing 87 pitches less than 72 hours ago and then having to get back on the bump in a high leverage situation. It can't be easy.
Yeah, that's putting a lot of weight on a young guy. He's only had one other major league appearance. That was earlier in the year for these guys.
So Dansby Swanson stands in after a brief meeting with Derek Lilliquist, the Nationals pitching coach. Dansby 1 for 10 in the series, but that one hit was a biggie. A long home run off Steven Strasburg. It capped a 4-run 7th inning 2 nights ago here. Way outside, ball 1.
And Derek Lilliquist was with St. Louis last year.
You think there was a trade there?
That's what I was just thinking. You take our guy, we'll take yours.
Yeah. Mike Maddox went to the Cardinals.
The 1-0 pitch is lifted into shallow right. Goodwin is under. And he makes the one-handed catch. Swanson's retired, and Sanchez will be the hitter with 2 on and 2 out. And the ball looks for his first hit of the year. He's 0 for 4. With a win today, Atlanta would clinch its 12th series win of the season. Last year, the Braves only won 18 series all year. And we are a little past the 1/3 mark in regular season play. So
they're way ahead of schedule, aren't they?
Drastic improvement.
I think their 34th win, which they have right now, didn't come until late June last year.
I think a great thing too is for these fans to get to know the players. You know, other than one spot really in the bullpen going up and down, the bullpen's been here the whole year doing a great job. Bench guys, starters. It's fun to put a face with a name and be able to cheer for those guys for 6 months.
Yeah, I think our fans near and far are that way about watching this team. They're beginning to know who they are and know their personalities.
Yep, Braves won their 34th game on June 22nd last season. As that one's lifted to the left side, Rendon drifts out and in shallow left puts the squeeze on that. And that's the inning. No runs, a hit, 2 left, 1-0 Atlanta.
Park. In an expression of gratitude for our active military and veterans, Fox Sports South is honored to welcome 100 soldiers from Fort Benning along with their families to SunTrust Park today. You see a meet and greet with Braves alumni right now. Also throwing out the first pitch, Staff Sergeant Keahi Holder, and he did a good job there. And right now I am very happy to be sitting alongside Colonel Matthew Scalia from Fort Benning. And first of all, it's great to have all of y'all out here. The 100th anniversary of Fort Benning is coming up. Talk to us a little bit about that, Colonel.
Right. First off, Andre, thank you so much to the Braves franchise and Fox Sports South. How grateful we are for you to host us here. We're just having a phenomenal time. You know, Fort Benning is a great place to be. In 100 years, you know, the leaders of the Columbus, Georgia had the vision of the potential they had to build an Army base there. Since in the past 100 years, we've been a center of innovation, airborne soldiers, Ranger training, some of the greatest leaders, Marshall, Eisenhower, Bradley, Patton, have all, Powell, and have all come through Fort Benning. And so we're looking forward to another 100 years of much the same.
As I told you, my late father was an Army veteran. So here in Georgia, we kind of a little selfish about Benning for us, but the country benefits in more ways than one.
No, thank you. And you know, we are proud of Fort Benning being really a center of gravity for the Army. All the infantry, armor, cav soldiers come through Fort Benning multiple times through their career. We get them as brand new privates, and we get them as sergeants and captains and senior ranks.
You yourself personally have led troops in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and while I am great with baseball numbers, I want to get the specific of some of the leadership roles you've had.
Well, no, thank you. So I've had a tour in Iraq and Afghanistan. I was a company commander in Iraq and a battalion operations officer in Afghanistan. You know, much like so many other soldiers here, you know, multiple deployments, separation from our families, the most challenging part of it all, quite frankly. That's why having the time here that you provided for us to reconnect with our families is just wonderful for us.
And that's an awful lot of work there, but you also teach and keep things going for those that are coming up. Thank you very much for your service. It's an honor for us to have you out here today to show a little bit of appreciation and enjoy the ball game.
No, Andre, thank you very much on behalf of all of us.
All right, thank you very much. Chip?
Great job, Andre. Thank you, and thank you so much to the servicemen and women at Fort Benning and all the military installations around the country and around the world. God bless you. Line drive by Spencer Kaboom to center. Ender tracks that down. And after Defoe reached on Dansby's throwing error, there's the first out. And Rodriguez now will dig in.
That's great right there. And I still tell people all the time, my most special, memorable game I played in the big leagues was at Fort Bragg when we got a chance to play up there. In 12 years, the way they treated us, 10,000 troops watching the game, drinking beer, heckling, having a blast. It was just
built the stadium for you.
That's what I'm saying. And they rolled out the red carpet. We didn't want to leave. It was 1 in the morning.
There's the bunt. And Suzuki will take over, and his throw to first stretches out Ozzie, but he hangs with it, makes the play. The sacrifice works. Defoe at second for Turner, and now 2 out.
Nice job by Rodriguez. Yeah, how about the flyover? That's what I remember guys talking about too. Those helicopters coming over.
It was unreal. You know how baseball guys are. We get in somewhere late at night, and especially that was July 3rd, so July 4th we had the day game in Philly, remember? And you didn't hear one person complaining about getting in at 3 in the morning into Philly.
Trey Turner grounded out his first time and lifts this one to right on the very first pitch. Long run, Markakis slowing near the stands, can't get there. And Turner lives to swing the bat again. Strike 1. Yeah, that was a nationally televised game. Joe and I weren't able to be there. We were in Philadelphia enjoying some calamari and watching the game on TV. But what impressed us so much was how into the game the fans were, the military families especially. How
they were in the game
uniting that was.
It was crazy. And think about Dan Schulman, who was doing the game with ESPN, still tells he's done some big games. You got to think over here, and he'll tell you that it's still the best game he's ever done. I wish they would go back. I know they've done the Williamsport thing, but go to another base, do it. I mean, it was. Wish everybody could experience that.
Gave everybody goosebumps just watching it.
Oh,
the ones that couldn't be there.
Big spot here for Sanchez, protecting a 1-run lead. Trey Turner, the batter. He's down 2 strikes. Defoe at second after the error in the sacrifice, and now Anibal wants to think it over again. Now he's ready with the 0-2 pitch. High fly ball, wallop deep left field. That one's not coming back. Boy, the Braves have made a lot of mistakes with 0-2 counts in this series, and Turner just made them pay again. So the error at short allows Turner to come to the plate with a man aboard, and he snaps out of an 0-for-8 slide with a long homer.
I don't know what happened right there, but Anibal stepped off twice, and he was nodding yes to Kurt Suzuki and pointing at Kurt like, yeah, I know, just go through the signs again. But they had to, this was the third time through what they wanted to do, and he delivered a high fastball. So obviously that's not what they were trying to do.
So a homer on an 0-2 pitch in the 7th inning yesterday, a homer on an 0-2 pitch with 2 outs here turns the game around for Washington. And the Nationals now lead 2-1.
There had to be a lot of frustration on that home run swing right there.
And a little tapper. Soto will be thrown out at first, and that is the inning. Yeah, Sanchez angry at himself. Long homer for Trey Turner. Washington 2, Atlanta 1. Top of the Braves order coming back up. Experience and catch every moment this year. Get Braves home screen icons and features like the MLB.TV game of the day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. So Rodriguez now staked to a 1-run lead. He's got the top of the order coming up. Ender Inciarte's had a tough homestand. He's 6 for 31 in the first 7 games plus an at bat today. And hitting .250 for the year. Trey Turner hit a 2-run homer, capping the Nationals' third. Frame began with a throwing error at short. And a little tapper hit right to Turner. He'll charge with a bare hand. Beautiful play, and the dig out by Reynolds. Nicely done. 1 out.
Wow.
I was waiting on another one of those jump throws. He did one better, going bare hand.
Sort of jump throw.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Fort Bragg game. One of my favorite teammates of all time, Malik Smith, who was here. Greatest story. They're coming in, the people. FBI and all this stuff to let us know logistics at the Army base and how things are going. And, you know, Fort Bragg's in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And Malix raises his hand and he's like, you know, what about family tickets or anything like that? You know, of course, only as AJ Przinsky would do. Malix, who do you know in Fayetteville? And without stopping, Malix goes, man, my uncle grew up in Arkansas.
Oh, no.
We were all like, we're going to North Carolina, not Arkansas. And so the rest of that year, his alias on the road was Fayetteville.
Oh, my goodness.
God bless him.
I'm sure AJ didn't say anything about that.
No, I didn't wear him out.
2-1 pitch. I don't think anybody saw that sail by. It went all the way to the screen.
I think it actually turned into a foul ball.
I think it nipped his bat.
Sure did.
On the backside.
Wow.
He's going to have to get that barrel out a little quicker.
Ozzy's 0 for his last 11, but he scored the lone Braves run to this point off Hellickson, who had to depart. Fly ball, well hit towards center. Taylor on the run, still going. That ball found another gear, and so did he.
And those were two outstanding defensive plays back to back. Turner and Taylor. I thought it was over his head.
There's 2 outs in this inning, Joe, and it could easily be 2-2 with the guy at third base right now.
Exactly right. That was a great catch.
So here's Freddie. He popped out on the first pitch in the first. It was in foul ground, and he swings at the next one. And that's off the screen foul. A strike.
This guy's throwing 97.
And doing it pretty efficiently. Again, he's rated as having the best fastball in the Nationals minor league system. I think that's pretty accurate, at least what we've seen so far today. How much will he have in the tank? Lifted toward left. Long run Soto into the corner at the wall. It's off the top of the wall and off his chest and into the corner. Freddie just missed hitting it out of the park. He stands at second with a 2-out double. 16-game hitting streak for Freeman.
This is just amazing how he continues to hit the ball this far, the opposite field. Just missed a homer. And the way it was coming off the wall, if that gets by Soto, it might be a triple rather than hitting him as he was running by.
That's what makes Freddie so good. That ball literally was right down the middle. Most people would pull that ball, and he's able to just flick it the other way.
It's another RBI chance for Nick Markakis, who drove home Albies in the first inning to put Atlanta up 1-0. And that's in at the knees. Markakis is hitting .303 this year with runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
That's a heck of a good number.
And 16 of his 39 RBIs. A hit here could tie the game. It's 2-1 Washington. The pitch is way high, even count.
I think that was his attempt at a changeup. He's got a curveball too, but obviously relies on that fastball.
You got to wonder if he's on some sort of pitch count. Surely if he's young and he's a prospect for him, or
the 1-1 pitch. Sharply hit, deep short. Turner's got it. Here's the long throw, and got it. What a defensive inning for Turner and Taylor. The Braves are going to take a look at this bang-bang play at first. Did he get him?
Did he get enough on that throw?
I think he got him.
I think he did.
So the Nationals flashed the leather in the third inning after Turner swung the bat in the top of the inning. Atlanta out of luck. Freeman left stranded at second base. 2-1 Washington. We head to the fourth. An error and then a 2-out homer on an 0-2 count for Trey Turner. The difference in the game to this point, Braves are getting good starting pitching, which has taken some pressure off of their bullpen in May and in the early days of June.
That walks and hits to innings pitched is outstanding. Less than 1 per inning. That is some good work. And pitching deeper into ball games, that certainly helps.
So Sanchez to work here in the fourth inning. Rendon, Reynolds, and Goodwin are coming up. Again, no Bryce Harper for the Nationals today. There's a lot of talk today about the bullpen situation for the Braves yesterday. Why no Vizcaino? Why no Dan Winkler? As the game moved into the 12th, 13th, and 14th innings of what was then a tie game. Here's the pitch, which is down low. Brian Snitker had a very logical and reasonable explanation. Number one, Dan Winkler had gotten up the night before and had been warming up very aggressively one day after he had pitched in a long and strenuous relief outing. Lifted toward right and playable for Nick Markakis, who will handle that for the first out. Dan Winkler is a man who's coming back from 2 very serious arm injuries, Tommy John and a fractured elbow. I can't remember a time where he's pitched 3 days in a row. Arodys Vizcaino also got up in the Fultonevich game and was warming up because at that time it was 4-0 in the 8th. Mike walked the leadoff guy with the Nationals bench and then the top of their order coming up. That was not in any way, shape, or form a sure thing at that time. And so Brian Snitker had to make the calculated decision to avoid using those 2 guys if necessary in order to preserve them for today, and quite frankly, make sure he does everything he can to keep them healthy. It was not an easy decision for Brian to make.
I applaud his ability to stick to his guns. You know, in a game like that, trying to stay away from them and not use them and do just that.
1 ball, 1 strike to Reynolds.
I know some fans were frustrated, but I saw Chipper say something in a tweet like, you don't know all the data, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, if someone's arms hanging a little bit, or and I said it all of a sudden today, what if we go up at the 7th inning and Winkler pitches the 8th today and Vizcaino pitches the 9th and we win? Everybody's happy again.
Right. Well, there was another factor too. The Braves bullpen was already somewhat short in a regard. First of all, Vizcaino and Winkler weren't going to be used. 2 key members of the bullpen, no doubt about it. The Braves had 3 long men who were not eligible to pitch yesterday.
Lucas Sims and Matt Whistler, both of whom have pitched on this homestand, both of whom were sent back to Gwinnett after long relief stints. By rule, they could not be brought back for 10 days after they're sent back down to the minor leagues.
Unless it's an injury, which it wasn't.
Which there was no injury. Thirdly, Luis Gohara, who would be another long inning candidate, was not with the team. He was on the bereavement list, and it was hoped he would have gotten back yesterday. Well, he didn't. He got back today. As Reynolds swings through it and is down on strikes, 2 outs. So you factor all of those things in. There was a logical thought process for Brian Snitker. In some ways, he was kind of hamstrung or handcuffed in what moves he could make, and nobody could have counted on the game going 14 innings, certainly.
I'll echo what Chipper said by a comment made one time by Dick Williams, the late Dick Williams, who's in the Hall of Fame and a great manager. When he was asked about a game and the handling of the bullpen by a team that he was watching, doing some announcing for it, he said, I would never begin to try to second guess or overanalyze that situation, because one never knows what's going on with their team, except the manager and the players. He said it would be difficult for me to speculate on who was healthy, who wasn't, who was ready and who wasn't, those types of things. So Chipper was right on.
And I remember reading Joe Torre's book, and he was talking about Mariano Rivera and Stottlemyre before that, and saying how he used to say there were days they weren't pitching. I don't care if it's whatever. I'll waste a game now if it's going to help me later on in the season. And I think Snit, I agree. He's stuck to his guns.
3 up, 3 down for Sanchez, including a couple of strikeouts. 2-1 Washington in the 4th. Home 4th coming up. Kurt Suzuki, Johan Camargo, and Preston Tucker will be the first 3 up. Emergency action for the Nationals youngster Jeffrey Rodriguez after Jeremy Hellickson hurt himself 2 batters into the ball game. A 2-base error on a ground ball to first by Ozzie Albies. Hellickson reached up at the bag, came up grabbing his right leg, had to leave, and since Rodriguez has given up 1, 2, 3, 4 base runners to the Braves, but Atlanta stranded 3 of them, 2 of them in scoring position. Suzuki struck out his first time up. That led off the Atlanta second. 2-1 Nationals. A Turner homer, the difference in the game. And into the strike zone at the knees, a strike. Here's one of the Braves catcher.
Sorry, Chip. Here's one of the frustrating things about the last 2 games. Even though the Braves won one of them 4-0, all 4 runs came in the 7th inning. Yesterday, all 3 runs came in the 5th inning on the home run by Camargo. The day before was a homer by Dansby Swanson. So they haven't put together a bunch of hits to put together a good inning in a while.
And the Braves, who are rolling so dramatically well with runners in scoring position, really have kind of cooled off somewhat dramatically in that stat of late, and in large part, fellas, because of the high number of strikeouts.
Well, there isn't. There was no way to keep that number they were going at that pace. You knew it had to come down. And this series, too, though, you got to give credit to the Washington pitchers because this is the best staff in the National League, in my opinion.
Well, the best ERA for sure.
97 up and out of the zone. Suzuki couldn't stop himself. He's 0 for 2, and there's the first out.
All right, I'm ready for this guy's adrenaline to go away.
Johan Camargo, our Georgia lottery, hitting the jackpot feature. As we mentioned earlier, a good homestand for the Braves third baseman.
4 extra base hits among his 8.
Talked the story yesterday about his mom coming into town. We need to keep her here.
Mm-hmm.
One ball, no strikes. Braves head to San Diego after the game today and open up a series at the park which shall not be named tomorrow. Julio Teheran and Clayton Richard will be the pitching opponents. 9:30 Eastern time for Braves Live. 10:10 with our first pitch. Little pop to second. And Defoe is under it, and he's got it. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Tucker. He walked on 4 pitches. His first look at Rodriguez. Nationals have to be thrilled with what Mr. Rodriguez is giving him.
No doubt. Just keep sending him back out there till he runs out of gas.
That was going to be a question for you too. Do you tell a young pitcher, okay, you've got 70 pitches, or do you just say, go as long as you can, as hard as you can, and we'll come get you?
And that may have been what Derek Lilliquist told him after he walked the batter, Tucker, back in the 2nd inning.
You might remember early in the season when we saw the Nationals, their 5th starter was A.J. Cole, and Atlanta racky-tacked him. I mean, really wailed away on him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Atlanta got him released.
And he was, I think he was actually sold. His contract was sold to the Yankees.
Same thing, right?
And so that allowed them to bring up Hellickson. And we'll see how long Hellickson is sidelined, if at all, after getting hurt today. The 2-1 pitch. Paints a corner, 2-2.
I'm not a doctor, but I got to imagine that's a DL stint when you're talking a starting pitcher and a hammy.
Yeah. Just ask Anibal.
Well, if he goes down, can't pitch any better than this kid's pitching right now. Maybe he'll take over if Hellickson's gone for a while. Lifted towards shallow left. Long run Soto. Still coming, still coming. He can't get there. He bobbles the ball at the line. Tucker never stopped running, and the Braves have another 2-out hit. Braves are getting him with 2 outs. How about some leading off an inning or with 1 out? That would be nice.
That was great hustle by Preston right there, Joe. He never stopped. Kept going.
I like it because it's with 2 outs, Jeff.
Take a chance.
Yeah, he's trying to get into scoring position. He might not have tried that with just 1 out or no outs, but good hustle.
And you see here they're going to end up walking Dansby because of it. But to me, it brings up a huge situation because, yeah, the chances of Anibal getting a hit right here aren't great. But what we do is we set up the top of the order for the 5th inning.
That's right. Clear the pitcher.
And Anibal a little late. Getting his batting gloves on and slowly makes his way to the right-hand batter's box. Keep you updated on all the other action in the big leagues today. Cubs and Mets, no score. That game's in the 6th inning in New York. John Lester at last count had a no-hitter working for the Cubs, who are trying to win 4 in a row from New York.
What was the count on their game last night? 14?
14 innings. The Cubs struck out 24 times and won. DeGrom, by the way, had 13 strikeouts in 7 innings and another no decision. 2 on, 2 outs for Sanchez, and he didn't get the breaking ball. Strike 1.
He's got to be getting sick and tired of these no decisions.
I love Max Scherzer. I think he's as good as it gets, but right now I think Jacob DeGrom is pitching at a higher level. He's actually a little better right now the way he's pitching. He's not getting results, but he's outstanding.
No balls, 1 strike. And downstairs.
Well, I always said when we faced the Mets, and Noah Syndergaard can dominate, you can bring it, but with DeGrom, I knew I had 4 pitches that I had to look for. He could throw 4 pitches for strikes. That's not fun.
No, and especially when one of them is about a 95 or 96 heater and go right by you.
Absolutely.
Well, he made a fan out of me, not that he wasn't already. One of my favorite players to watch. When he waved off Mickey Callaway here and said, I'm finishing this inning, that was so refreshing in today's era. And he was effective. And a swing and a miss ends the inning. Sanchez down on strikes. 3 strikeouts for Rodriguez. Atlanta will start the 5th with the top of their order. Washington starts the 5th with Michael Taylor.
Is sponsored by your local Ford dealer and the Georgia Lottery.
Flipper having a good time. So are the Nationals, unfortunately. After 4 innings, they lead 2-1. An error and a 2-run homer by Trey Turner. The difference as we take a live look inside SunTrust Park from our Xfinity cam.
That's a great shot, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Panoramic shot from up there above the Comcast building. There, that right there. That would be a perfect seat.
Yeah.
that one spot.
I still want to broadcast from the balcony or the pool.
Yeah, what's going on at the pool today?
It's got to be a nice little crowd at the pool.
You'd think. On a hot summer afternoon.
I don't know. Getaway day, you know, checkout day.
Yeah, good point.
Bellman are rich. Oh, there's a few leftovers.
There we go.
There's more than a few.
Yeah.
Got some late checkout rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Taylor grounded out his first time and hits one right off the end of the bat foul. The Braves will head west, as we said, to San Diego tomorrow. Also a big day all around Major League Baseball. It is the Major League Draft that will be taking place from MLB Network Studio 42. And the Braves made a great announcement today, which I'll share with you after the pitch. If you have seen any of the social media and the viral videos out there, a young man named Luke Terry out of Tennessee, who will be the man that announces the Braves draft selection at the podium with Commissioner Rob Manfred. Now, why is Luke Terry going to be in New York? Well, there's a very special reason. The pitch. Luke is 16 years old from Cornersville, Tennessee, and had his right arm amputated at 19 months. He just finished his freshman year at Cornersville High School, where he caught and played on the baseball team, a club that went 17-12 last year. Lifted into shallow right. Long run. Can anybody get there? No, they can't. And after the collision, Markakis picks up the baseball, and Taylor has a bloop double to lead off the Nationals' 5th.
Well, I guess turnabout is fair play. It's just unfortunately their bloop double happens with nobody out.
I mean, this is right in the middle of the three of them.
And then a nice slide by Freddie. Good takeout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's illegal, you know.
Yeah, you don't get to do that anymore.
Yeah, right. So congratulations to Luke Terry. He'll be joined by Dale Murphy and Ralph Garr at the Braves draft table. Atlanta picks 8th overall in the first round. And you'll be able to see all of that excitement from MLB Network Studio 42. And we, of course, will tell you who the Braves pick as soon as we find out while we're out in San Diego.
We were in Snit's office this morning, Chip, and he made a good point. You think they're excited about not sending me and Kelly this year with the restaurant bill we ran up on them last year?
It's more money to sign players.
Hey, that was part of the deal if they sent us up there.
Defoe grounds back to the mound. He can't advance Taylor. And the flip to first underhanded takes care of the Nationals' second sacker. 1 out.
That's a big out right there.
Jeff, I know that draft day had to be a huge day for you because of all the anticipation as to whether or not you might get drafted in the first round, since you had a commitment to go to Clemson. You still like Clemson, by the way?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, they're beating St. John's right now, if anybody's wondering, 7-3.
So what was that day like for you? Were you on pins and needles?
I was. And, you know, it was funny because it's still, I know it was in 2000.
Stolen base. Taylor got a walking lead and takes third without a throw.
It was 2002, but they still had the draft on the internet. So you actually had to watch on the computer when you got drafted. And after the 22nd pick, that's when I got a call from Mr. Sherholtz congratulate me. And so it was great. But, you know, before then, you just see these names pop up on the internet.
Right.
Has Joe ever told you how he heard about how he was drafted?
It's a little different.
1 strike to Keyboom, and that's letter high, ball 1.
There was no, well, there wasn't even television in those days. But
right.
The box radio.
Let alone computers. And our newspaper in Oklahoma City usually would have the local guys that got drafted. And I wasn't on there. Very disappointed. And 2 weeks later, I'm walking into an American Legion game and scout for what was then the Washington Senators, now the Texas Rangers. So what'd you think of the draft? I said, I didn't think much of it. I was hoping to get drafted. And he goes, well, we drafted you. I said, well, why am I just finding out? Yeah, we took you in the 14th round.
Popped up right behind the plate. Suzuki gives chase, but won't have a play. 2-2.
He said, well, we had some other guys we had to get to first.
Thanks a lot.
2 weeks later, I found out.
Yeah, it's changed a little bit since then, huh?
Info moves a little quicker now.
It's always interesting because when we were up there last year, you know, they bring about 6-7 guys up there. And I can't remember who it was, but there was one guy last year that didn't go to the second round, and I just felt bad. You know, he's sitting there with his mom and dad, and after every pick, you just look over at him, and you can tell it's like, agony. Yeah, why did I come up here?
Yeah.
Did Keyboom hurt himself swinging the bat there? Slow getting back in the box here. Sanchez would love a strikeout here with the pitcher on deck and a runner at third base. Again, Washington playing almost all of their bench players in today's game. But they lead 2-1. And a swing and a miss. He went to a knee, and Sanchez does what he does so well. Floated that baby in, and Kieboom couldn't stop his swing. And now the infield can back up with the pitcher up and 2 out.
He got a little extra on this one. 70 miles an hour. What a changeup. And it was upstairs, too.
Little ground ball right side. Freeman with a backhand. Perfect feed, and Sanchez pitches around the leadoff double.
Great job.
Time for the Braves bats to make something happen. Top of the order coming up.
That's on top 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. You may recall at the end of April, the Pirates had to bring up a young man named Nick Kingham for an emergency start. Made his major league debut. Nothing like tonight. Our Xfinity game break takes us to St. Louis. Kingham then took a perfect game into the 7th. Here in the 1st, Marcell Ozuna, a grand slam off the youngster. It's 4-0 Cardinals on top of the Bucks as they head to the bottom of the 3rd, fellas.
Okay, Jerome, thank you. Cardinals are 2 games ahead of the Pirates in the Central. They're 4.5 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers, who lead the Cubs by 3 games. That's going to be a great race all summer, like the National League East, where 2 games separates the top 3 teams: Atlanta, Washington, and Philadelphia. All right, time for the Braves to do something with this guy. Rodriguez has had base runners everywhere, but he has stranded 5 in 3 2/3 innings of scoreless relief. Now the top of the order is coming up for Atlanta: Inciarte, Albies, and Freddie Freeman.
He's not allowed a leadoff man to get on. Twice he struck out whoever was leading off the inning, and that's a good sign for him.
They're finally warming someone up down in the pen, just doing some light tossing, which I got to imagine, even if he's pitching great, I get it, but at some point here you got to pull the plug on him, I would think.
51 pitches for him right now.
After 87 pitches the other day.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully these top 2 hitters for the Braves can get hot. Counting today's play dating back to the 2nd game of the series, Ender and Ozzie are 1 for 24 combined at the plate. And a first pitch swing popped up to center. And Taylor handles that can of corn easily. There's out number 1. Here's Ozzie. One of the hardest hit balls for the Braves came last time he was up. The ball jumped toward the Braves bullpen, and Taylor got on his horse, found another gear, and grabbed it a step shy of the fence to rob Albies of an extra base hit. And he looks that one off the plate. Ball 1. Big shift on for Ozzie. And off his thumbs and out of play. It's even. 1-1.
They are living in his kitchen. Left and right-handed. They are really trying to tie him up.
So how do you get him out of there?
And there they go again. Layoff pitches that aren't strikes. helps.
He did there, and it's now 2-2.
He's going to try and bunt with two strikes. Take a chance. Well, up and in is a big problem. Down and in, he would probably be able to drop the barrel on it.
Yeah. See, there it was again. He tried to go in. He left it out over the plate, but he got it up. One thing for Ozzie, though, like you said, if you don't get it in, you miss, you're going to pay for it.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
You were talking about that a couple of days ago, Jeff, where you said you get to the big leagues, they want to find out, first of all, can you hit a fastball? If you show them you can, then they want to find out if you can hit an inside fastball.
Yep.
And he's just fighting that off.
I agree. It's one of those things you're not just all of a sudden going to be able to lay him off, but like you said, just every once in a while, take a peek at one of those and let the pitcher know that you can see it in there.
Well, he's a first pitch fastball guy. So more often than not, he gets a first pitch fastball. He's hacking at it no matter where it is.
Line to center, but Taylor gallops over and puts it away. 2 out.
That one inning where Taylor and Turner turned in those defensive gems really helped him in the 3rd inning. He might not be out there if they had made those plays for him.
That's two good swings for Ozzie, though. That's a good sign. He drove one to kind of right center and drove one to left center.
Freddie doubled to left his last time up and takes a strike.
I think you see Ozzie ready to go. I think the thing with Ender that you worry a little bit about is the first pitch outs.
Smack to center. Taylor on the run. He's got that. 3 up, 3 down. We're through 5 in Atlanta. Washington's 1, 2, 3 hitters coming up. And it's time for today's Coors Timeless Moment. An unforgettable day for the Braves right fielder who on June 3rd, 2003 was the 7th overall pick by the Orioles out of Young Harris College. 2,100 hits and 1,000 runs later, Nick holding fourth in right here in Atlanta.
And who knows, if things had gone differently, he might be a pitcher still pitching in the big leagues with a ton of wins or saves, because everybody I've talked to that saw him pitch said he could really bring it.
I faced him in high school.
Did
he was
you?
at Woodstock. Absolutely. You could tell anybody he's probably by far a much better pitcher than he was hitter at that time. It wasn't 93, 94, good sink, real good curveball. I think it worked out all right for him, though.
Yeah, he chose wisely, didn't he? Here's the villain, Trey Turner. 2-run homer on an 0-2 pitch. And a couple of sparkling defensive plays that robbed Atlanta of some hits in the home third. Good to see Anibal back in rhythm on the mound.
And you talk about 56 pitches in the 6th inning. You talk about economical.
He has struck out 4. He has not walked a batter. And the sequence to Turner last time up might lead to some head scratching. We'll figure out what was going on between Suzuki and Sanchez, trying to figure out what to throw with that 2-strike count.
Jeff, I don't know if we got to talk enough about what you were saying about Anibal and his stubbornness, I'll say, to not really make any changes the last couple of years, and is willing to do that now. That hurt. But not only is he pitching well here for the Braves, he's been such a good influence on the other pitchers already.
He's been great. And I tell you what, when we signed him in spring training and picked him up, I loved it. I said, I have no problem playing behind this guy every 5 days. Yeah, he's not going to go out there and strike out 12. And remember that one time he struck out, what, 16 or 17 up there in Detroit and Florida. Right. But you trust him. And like you said, he's a great teammate.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Turner. And that missed a corner, full count.
That was a good pitch. Little cutter.
Yep.
Throw it out there again. Maybe he'll offer at it. He did, and a line drive to center. And Turner's retired, 1 out.
How hard and how far he hit that ball. Reaching out like he did.
Here's Soto. He's tapped to the mound, and he's bounced to the catcher. So Soto 0 for 2.
It's a tough matchup for Soto, Joe, because you got a young guy who is aggressive. He's ready to hit. You got a guy like Sanchez who can take advantage of that.
I think these are the kinds of hitters, especially the ones that came with high, big credentials coming to the big leagues, that Greg Maddux, Glavine, and Smoltz love to pitch against, especially Maddux and Glavine. They could chew them up.
Well, because of all the injuries, Soto got an earlier than expected call to the major leagues. Oscar Robles, their #1 prospect, got hurt. Tore up his shoulder diving for a ball in the early days of the spring. And that one is just foul, and Suzuki spun out of the circle at the plate, tripped himself, and he's laughing. That'll be a fine in the Kangaroo Court.
This is the fans, though. They loved it.
The tornado, Kurt Suzuki.
Even Walt, look at Walt down.
He was trying real hard to get that ball in fair territory.
Yeah.
Sniper.
Little man in the dirt got him.
He was laughing on the way down, too.
Look at Gio Gonzalez in the background yelling at him.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'll tell you, talking about Soto with Eaton and some of those guys coming back, he keeps playing like this, they're going to have to find a place for him.
Mm-hmm. Strong kid.
Going to force his way into that starting lineup every day.
Oh, they're without Ryan Zimmerman. And now another meeting here with 2 strikes on Soto. They're without Matt Wieters. Eaton, and Daniel Murphy. Those are starting players.
That's 4 guys.
Yeah, it is, and I think we talked about it. You look what Adams and Reynolds have done at first. It's been phenomenal. The guy they're missing is Murph, to me. You can't replace that at second base. Just what he brings, the at-bats he brings, getting on base.
Microfracture knee surgery is what he's trying to come back from. From what I have read, I believe he's on a rehab now. He's playing, but no timetable yet for Daniel Murphy's return. The pitch fouled away.
I'm assuming they've got a track record for that micro knee surgery. We've talked about that before, Chip, about thinking about Grady Sizemore, who was really never the same. His knee wasn't ever the same after he did it, and I don't know who else has had it done, but
doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't.
So Soto with 2 strikes has proved to be a rather tough hitter. He really spreads out in the batter's box, and he's worked the count full. Sanchez hasn't had many of those. Pitch. Fought it off. Bouncing ball to Camargo. He'll glove and gun to first in time. A lot of soft contact on the infield for Sanchez. That's helped keep his pitch count down, and he's now retired 5 straight after Taylor's 5th inning double.
I'm glad Johan didn't try to barehand that. He had time to make sure he gloved it to make the throw.
Looked like he was wanting to for a minute.
I thought so too.
Rendon is hitless. He's hit the ball in the air twice and is 2 for 13 in the series. Ball 1. Cubs now lead the Mets 2-0. That game's in the 8th inning at Citi Field. Cardinals 4-0 still over the Pirates, as Jerome told you. Later, the Dodgers play the Rockies. Phillies are in San Francisco. Phillies not scoring any runs lately. And Miami visits Arizona. That one starts at 4:10 Eastern Time.
I love how these hitters against on a ball are like kind of jackknifing out of the way, trying to make a pitch look like it was inside, and it's got such good movement, or he's throwing a cutter that's catching the corner.
Well, they said splitter there in that other one, but I think it might have been a cutter, which you said just kind of backed up or front door.
Yeah. Well, at this stage of his career, he knows what he's doing and he knows how to do it. I think perhaps what you were talking about for the last couple of years, he thought he could still do it the way he used to, and he just couldn't.
Tells you a lot how the game has changed from the mound perspective. 25 years ago, Major League Baseball was filled with guys who pitched exactly like Anibal Sanchez pitches now. Now he's a true rarity with all the power arms that we see in starting and rotations and pens.
That's why I said today about the matchup. This really is a pitching matchup.
Yeah, when I first came up, I remember facing guys like John Lieber, Traxel, the late Corey Lytle, guys like him that just were going to mix and match.
Little ground ball hit left side. Dansby's got it. Long throw to first on the money. Sanchez pulled the string through a 73-mile-an-hour pitch, and Rendon hit it like a wet Sporting News. 3 up, 3 down. Markakis leads off next. home sixth inning. The 4, 5, 6 hitters are up for the Braves. It starts with Nick Markakis, who's got the lone Braves RBI. It came in the very first inning. And Nick Markakis is our Greatness Made Here feature presented by Synovus.
His hits the most in the National League. It's been consistent from day one when he hit the walk-off game-winning homer against the Phillies into the chop house, and he hasn't let up. Great job by the kid Rodriguez for the Nats. He departs and did not give up a run.
4 2/3 innings of 4-hit shutout ball. And now he gives way to Sammy Solis. Game number 32 for Solis. Went 2/3 of an inning yesterday. And there's a swing and a foul ball back. Strike one.
I got to imagine Dave Martinez and probably the whole bullpen down there for Washington's going to give that guy a big pat on the back.
Real impressive work. A run on 4 hits for the Braves. We'd love to get Nick aboard here to start an inning. That has gotten 4 hits today. Gotten a couple of walks, but no leadoff man on. Now we'll see if the Braves' good work against left-handed pitching this year pays off against Solis in the 6th. Fly ball well hit toward left. Soto is there and makes the play.
Well, our thanks to our friends at Delaware North, taking care of us during this whole homestand. All the good snacks and just treated to some ice cream. I mean, they're taking care of us. It's like a 9-course meal up here.
Yeah, we're going to have to go on the road trip just to get the diet back in order. They do such a great job serving the patrons here at SunTrust, and they've taken great care of us, especially Jeff.
Oh, I've just hammered the last 4 days.
It really is a spectacle. Watching him go through the buffet that they bring us up here.
It's crazy. Gonna look like John Kruk if I keep doing this.
Fouled away. Strike. What do you have a favorite of what the folks at Delaware North brought us?
I told you today the fresh cut fries.
Yeah.
Not the curly, the regular ones. They were phenomenal. Good amount of salt on them.
They've been holding back on us on that grilled cheese too.
Oh.
That was.
And the double cheeseburger. What else?
Outstanding.
Ought to have a metabolism, Joe.
I'm skipping the dessert,
no balls
though.
Well, yeah, that's big of you. Save some for somebody else. Two quick strikes for Suzuki, who is hitless on the day.
You two aren't exactly turning down the food either.
No. Just to be polite. Pitch. Straightens him up.
Well, if it comes through the door, it becomes the property of the booth. But we do share.
Solis overthrew that one. 2-2 the count.
I'm a little worried about our stats guy Jared over there not eating at all. It's a little weird. Maybe he's a vegetarian.
Could be. Vegan.
See if we can get him a salad.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Suzuki asks for time and gets it. That'll make Solis pause for a moment. Two unearned runs, the difference in the game. In fact, all the runs are unearned today. And that just missed the corner.
Ooh.
Sometimes you always wonder with a catcher like that. That's thanks for taking care of me today. Even though I do think that was in.
I did too.
Now it's a full count. And lifted out of play.
Oh, bloopers trying to get him going down there on the Braves dugout.
Blooper's got to be hot.
Now Solis ready with his payoff. Good battle here. Camargo next. Base is empty, 1 out. Atlanta batting in the 6th.
Oh, hanging tough.
Great. Suzuki trying to wear down Solis. We'll see a 9th pitch. And it's popped up right side. Reynolds slowing near the track. And behind the first base coaching box puts it away. 2 outs.
Visit Synovus for your banking, lending, and investing needs. Synovus, the bank of here.
2 up, 2 down for Solis. Johan Camargo, the batter. He's got one of the Braves' 4 hits. That came with 1 out in the 2nd inning. Braves had first and second, 1 out in that frame, looking to add to their 1-0 lead. But a pop out by Swanson, a pop out by Sanchez ended that 2nd inning threat.
I tell you, yesterday he had one of the more impressive home runs I've seen this year from any team. Hanging changeup to 431 feet to dead center.
And as impressive as that was, as far as it was, every time a ball is hit out there into the tunnel, I think about that low screaming line drive that Giancarlo Stanton hit off the wall just below the camera opening last year.
2-0 pitch. Didn't get it.
I don't remember what they measured it at, 460, 470, something like that. But right below those cameras, Giancarlo on the fly nailed the wall.
The 2-1 pitch. Pop back toward us.
Heads up, Smitty. Tim Smith, cameraman to the Stars.
Got an ugly hat on today, though.
Yeah, when he was younger, he could make the play.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And upstairs for a full count. The 3-2. There's ball 4, a 2-out walk. First base runner allowed by Solis. Let's see if Preston Tucker can turn the game around with a 2-run homer of his own. Braves bats have gone a little cold on the homestand. I'm told they're hitting .234 as a team in this 8-game home stretch. Their average for the year here, .257. Camargo is short lead at first with 2 outs. The pitch way outside, ball 1.
But it's like Jeff said, there was going to come a reckoning at some point. They couldn't keep those numbers at those lofty heights all year long. You just can't expect that.
I mean, look how good the Red Sox offense is. Maybe the best in baseball. And we talk about it. I think they went through a period where they scored like 8 runs in 6 games or something. It's crazy.
Plus, the Braves have been running into some really tough pitching too over the last 2 weeks.
Nick Pivetta, Velasquez, Arrieta, Rodriguez, Pomeranz, Sale, DeGrom, Steven Matz.
It's funny right there. Salas is getting that pitch to lefties, but he's not getting it to righties. Against
that area, that corner.
Yep.
And Vargas, Roark, Strasburg, Gonzalez. The last couple of games on the homestand. So Joe, you're right. Not an easy stretch at all. The 1-2 count is popped into shallow left. Turner going out, Soto coming in, and the left fielder makes the play, and that retires the side. Nothing doing again for the Braves in the 6th inning. Washington still holds a 1-run lead. Atlanta, you can see the humidity in that great panoramic shot of SunTrust Park. Washington leads 2-1 thanks to a 3rd inning homer by Trey Turner. That's the only blemish for Anibal Sanchez, the subject of our Painting the Corners feature presented by Sherwin-Williams.
And he has been today. He's only made one mistake. That was on an 0-2 pitch to Trey Turner. That was one of 2 hits he's allowed. No earned runs because that inning had started on an error by Dansby Swanson.
So you figure this will be Anibal's last inning. His spot's due second when the Braves hit in the bottom of this 7th inning. And he's got Reynolds, Goodwin, and Taylor coming up. That trio's 1 for 6 combined with 3 strikeouts. Reynolds is flied out and he's struck out swinging, and that's taken low. 1 ball, no strikes.
Love watching the guy pitch. I know a lot of you at home do too. Seeing a guy use all his pitches and have command of them.
Two balls and a strike for Reynolds. Looking for his first hit in this series. Braves won't see the Nationals again until right after the All-Star break. That's pulled foul at third. Washington will host the 2018 All-Star game. Those festivities start July 16th. The Braves open up a 3-game series in Washington on Friday, July the 20th. The 2-2 pitch is bounced into the shift, and Ozzie, the shortstop's arm, makes the play. Reynolds retired. 7 up, 7 down for Sanchez.
4-3 with the line under it.
Yes, sir. Works every time. Unless it doesn't, here's Goodwin, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Goodwin, you recall, just came back from a wrist injury. For Washington. This is a big game for Atlanta psychologically, for the standings, quite obviously. It's a big game because, let's face it, the Nationals are hamstrung. We talked about it a couple of times today. Their regular lineup is missing 4 starting players. They're going to get healthy at some point. And my partner has said, Jeff, so many times, pile as many losses on these guys early in the season as you can while they're beat up and make them dig out of a big hole.
That's why that one yesterday hurt, because of so many innings that went by without even a base runner. Not even getting a chance to hit with a runner in scoring position. A credit to the Nationals bullpen for sure. And to the Shadows.
Well, and I think you look at what after yesterday we're 1-6 in extra inning games. With our offense, that shouldn't happen. And I think, like we talked about, you're seeing guys change their approach and try to hit home runs.
Goodwin didn't get it. Changeup fools him. Well, you're catching the Nationals bullpen at a real bad time if you're an opposing hitter, including their work today. They've given up 2 earned runs in their last 39 innings of work. And when you factor in Scherzer, Strasburg, Gio Gonzalez, it's easy to see why the Nationals came to town with a 6-game winning streak and a 10-game road winning streak that Atlanta took care of. But we need 1 to tie, 2 to take the lead. As Taylor hits and couldn't check his swing.
Well, the good news is we're the best team in baseball after the 7th.
Well, we will hope for better things today.
8, 9, and 1 on the lineup card coming up after Sanchez takes care of Taylor, we hope. Little pop right side and a ball ahead of him, 0-2. And that has been the story for Sanchez in this game. Lots of strike ones, lots of strike twos, lots of soft contact, with the exception of Turner's homer.
Hey, you'd like to see him finish off a strong outing right here. 7+ or 7 strong.
The 0-2 pitch. Again, Sanchez in his career 9-1 lifetime against Washington. And he's allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in 20 of his 23 career appearances against them.
That was a good 0-2 pitch. 92, a little bit off the plate.
And thought he had him struck out on the inside corner.
Not making that call on the right-handers.
I thought it's like he can't see it.
Which is surprising because he's hanging over the left shoulder over the inside corner for the righties. The pitch. That one missed, full count. Joe's 4 keys for Sanchez. Good counts and confidence. I'd say he's answered those very well today, although that's a blemish, a 2-out walk. And that'll bring up Wilmer Defoe.
That's a walk after being ahead 0-2. This guy only has 1 hit in the series, and it was the triple yesterday.
The triple that brought home Max Scherzer, who pinch hit. That'll drive you crazy too. You think you get a big break. Okay, we don't have to face Scherzer on the mound, but he helps beat you at the plate in an emergency spot.
I was laughing listening to Snit's post-game conference. That's what he was like. Well, go figure.
Scherzer became the first pitcher with a pinch hit and to score the winning run in Nationals Expos franchise history yesterday. Runner goes, pitch a strike, no chance for Suzuki to make a throw. And now Taylor's in scoring position for Defoe with 2 outs. Taylor's done that twice. He's stolen second. He's now stolen third.
The pitch is hooked to Freeman, and Freddie reaches out with the left hand and makes the play to his right. Defoe lines out. And that ends a Nationals 2-out rally, and in all likelihood ends the day for Anibal Sanchez, who threw 7 innings of 2 unearned run, 2-hit ball in the series wrap-up here at SunTrust Park. It's again a 2-game swing. If Atlanta can come back and win, they'll be a game and a half up heading west. If Washington wins, they'll leave town the way they arrived, 1/2 game ahead in the East. 8-9-1 coming up for the Braves after Timothy Miller offers us another stirring rendition of God Bless America before another big crowd on a steamy Sunday afternoon at SunTrust Park.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Timothy Miller, another fantastic rendition. 2-1. Washington has the lead, and it's time for the stretch.
The Stretch is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts and in part by CarQuest Motor Oil.
Welcome to the stretch here in the 7th on the set with BJ and Jerome, and of course after the Braves rally in the bottom of this inning here to take the lead. After they win this game, they're going to head out on the Big Bird, go out to the West Coast, San Diego and Los Angeles, one of our favorite road trips. And before you dismiss the Padres, they're 6-4 in their last 10. Better be careful.
You know what? Always going to the West Coast early in the seasons has been a nervous wreck for me because the Braves normally don't play that well early in the season on the West Coast. So hopefully they can change their fortunes going west. You know, hopefully we'll see Anibal Sanchez get the win today and you go on a positive. But right now, I don't like the West Coast.
Well, yeah, as you can see, Padres with an awful lot of young talent, and Hosmer really helping them out with a little veteran presence. The Dodgers are the biggest surprise in my eyes because you think Clayton Kershaw is on the DL again, Maeda, Rich Hill, Ryu, they're all hurt. But in the last 15 games, their starters who weren't supposed to be starters have went 17-1. The Dodgers are on fire right now. They're chasing down the Rockies. They play them again today.
You know what? They're getting healthy, man. And Matt Kemp, wow, what a year he's having, leading the hitting. Look at that batting average in the last 15 games. Puig is starting to come alive for LA. The offense is scoring runs for those guys. The pitchers are starting to get healthy. So watch out. We know the Dodgers are going to make a run. Hopefully not when the Braves there.
Yeah, despite all those injuries, LA is still 112 with their last 16 overall. Before we send you back up to the booth, a quick word from our friends at Advance Auto Parts.
Visit your nearest Advance Auto Parts store to get the quality parts you want from people that know a lot about them. Advance Auto Parts. Let's get you back on the road.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Great work on the stretch. Hopefully Atlanta can do what they've done so often, and that is come back in the 7th inning or later. The Braves with 106 runs after the 7th inning this year. Start things with Dansby Swanson. Ryan Flaherty will pinch hit for Anibal Sanchez. Then the top of the order against Sean Kelly, who's the 4th Nationals pitcher. And upstairs, ball 1. You know, Dansby would like to atone for that error leading off the 3rd inning. It gave the Nationals an extra out, and Turner cashed it in. One ball, no strikes.
And high and tight. Ball 2. Leadoff walk wouldn't hurt.
This guy's battled some arm problems, but can still bring it. Pretty simple, though. Fastball slider. Can rush it up there in the mid-90s.
Two balls, no strikes. Swing and a high fly ball. Belted deep left. Dansby has just tied this game.
Did you say something about a tone?
I don't know why we wait till the 7th, but we do, and we get it done.
That's his sweet spot, too. Little up and in.
So Atlanta ties the game. Sanchez now even, and still a chance to win with Ryan Flaherty pinch hitting. Sanchez 7 innings of 2 unearned run ball. And allowed just 2 hits. Boy, was he good. 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. 1 ball, no strikes for Flaherty. Who had a good rip at that one and didn't get it. 1-1.
I was just about to say before Dansby hit that, it'd be nice to get a leadoff runner on. Well, guess he went ahead and took care of everything.
Yeah,
Yes,
for about
he did.
15 seconds he was on. Circled the bags. His 5th home run. And 2nd against the Nationals in the series.
There's an old saying that if you go to the bullpen enough, you're going to find somebody who's not on that day. That didn't happen yesterday. Their bullpen was awesome. So continuing into today, maybe finally there's somebody out of the bullpen who's not on.
Ground ball hit to the right side. Defoe, nice play. Settles his feet and threw a strike. That was nice. Covered a lot of ground and took away a hit for Flaherty. 1 out. And now I can promise you something going through the minds of the managers now is we got to get the lead.
Yes.
Neither one of these clubs wants to play beyond 9 today.
No, but I think, Joe, I think a great thing here that we talked about earlier in the game is, okay, we didn't use Winkler and Viz yesterday. People were, well, now we got them set up for the 8th and 9th. We find a way to get a run, and so you didn't use them yesterday, but you get a win because of it today. And those are the tough decisions you have to make.
The give and take.
It's easy to think when you're watching one game and you don't get a chance to see today, why didn't we do it? But when you're talking about 162 games, and especially what those 2 guys mean to our bullpen, you can't take that lightly.
They're here for the long term.
1-0 pitch to Ender. Is a called strike. And sure enough, you know how it works too. If you use a guy 4 days in a row and you break him, then everybody says, well, why'd you use him? It truly is a no-win for.
I don't know if I've ever heard fans talk about a manager who used the bullpen good.
No.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
Well, when you win, they say it.
Even when you win, they might. Why did they bring him in this?
Yeah. Why didn't they wait?
Two balls and a strike. Ender 0 for 3 today. Let's see if he can change that. 2-2.
Remember 2 years ago, Joe Madden won the World Series, and whether you agree with a couple of the moves or not, he got hammered after the World Series for how he used the bullpen. This is a World Series winning manager.
Everybody is a good manager in their mind.
Monday morning quarterback.
The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a high towering fly that he pulled foul. Look where that baby ended up. Out by the Braves executive offices in foul ground.
Look for a minute like he was going to land in the Waffle House trailer.
Whew. Waffle House.
Not bad.
Man might faint, Joe, if you bring that up again.
I know.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Check swing pop. And right back to the pitcher, and Ender frustrated, heads back to the dugout. 0 for 4 in the second out.
Still got to run it out, though, boys.
Yeah, I love Bender. You got to run that one.
If that ball drops somehow and you're standing there watching, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Frustrated or not.
He slams the bat handle as he heads back to the rack. And here's Albies. He scored a first inning run. He's lined out to center twice. And a strike. Jeffrey Rodriguez stepped in emergency relief today for Hellickson and pitched great. But he can't win it as this game moves to the 8th inning. A leadoff homer for Dansby Swanson ties the game 2 apiece. It's a battle of the bullpens the rest of the way in game 4.
Hats off for heroes, because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Dansby Swanson solo homer gets the Braves back even 2-2 after 7. And Dan Winkler is on to pitch for Atlanta following Anibal Sanchez's 7 brilliant innings of 2-hit, 2-run starting work.
And for Dan Winkler, with that night off last night, means he has had a couple of days rest. Last pitch in the first game of this series. An inning. Zeros across with 2 strikeouts. As you probably know by now, right-handed hitters not hitting anything off of him. 5 for 51. That's an .098 batting average.
Bingo.
Thank you.
With 23 strikeouts. So he's got Keyboom. Then Bryce Harper will come off the bench and pinch hit. Then Trey Turner, and the first pitch served into center. Ender broke back, now has to streak in, and he got there with a waist-high sliding catch. Pretty play to Rob Keyboom. 1 out.
Didn't let his offensive frustration affect his defense.
No, got a good, it's a tough ball. You can see he's got to make sure it's in front, and then he came hustling the whole way.
So Bryce Harper will pinch hit, his first pinch hit appearance of the year. Harper 2 for 13 in this series. And has struck out 7 times against Atlanta pitching here at SunTrust Park.
Yeah, I don't mind this matchup right here with nobody on base. I know it's the right thing to do. You're trying to go for a home run, but if Winkler gets ahead of him right here like this, you have plenty of options to go to right here.
No balls and a strike for Harper. Didn't get it. You guys noticed something mechanically for Harper that might be leading to all those strikeout woes.
Flying open. Right hip, right shoulder really flying open. Like he's trying to hit everything to the chop house.
I think anything away here and you got him, Joe. Two-seamer.
That's where they're going. Good try.
I'd go right back out there. A little bit closer maybe.
One ball, two strikes. Lashed out of play and hooked past the protective netting beyond the Braves dugout.
That's where that back foot slider, you have to be so precise. And with this guy, the way he crushes balls down and in, if it's not already in on his kneecaps, then you're in danger zone.
I would say sometimes I like that pitch, but in this situation where he's struggling away, I'd rather just stay away from him right here. Let him get himself out.
He's chased a lot of bad pitches away.
Not close enough to offer. 2-2.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Base is empty for Harper. Man that needs to look alive too is Freddie Freeman. He has handled a couple of hot smashes off Harper's bat in this series, including a spectacular play yesterday that nearly took Freddie's cap off. The pitch. Strike three, outside corner. Braves have gotten him to look at that pitch a couple of times too.
Great pitch.
Great pitch.
Same as the other ones. He just happened to get this one right on the corner. And you can even see, look at Bryce right there. Watch this. Look at his front foot going. When you're flying open like that, you know it, Joe. That ball looks so far off the plate.
Yeah.
And he'll go back and look and be like, man, it was right on the corner.
Kurt did a nice job of framing that one too.
So now a right-hand hitter, Trey Turner, who homered on an 0-2 pitch in the third. Turner as well has had his share of strikeout difficulties in this series, however none today. He has struck out 7 times against Braves pitching, and at the knees even count.
You were talking about this series earlier, Chip, and about how it affects standings, your mental aspect, and how you fared against the Nationals if you're the Braves.
Broken bat. And Freeman's going to take care of that. Winkler just splintered his lumber.
This is a more important series for the Braves, and that's why they need to go ahead and finish this up and win it.
Let's see if they can take the lead next.
Active, and I wish he wouldn't miss a little bit of time here and there and actually see him in a healthy 162 game series is our first baseman, Freddie Freeman. He's got a swing that you don't necessarily teach. It works for him, and you know, he's probably one of the most impressive hitters I've been around, and it's fun to watch him hit.
Guys coming from a man with over 2,100 hits and 1,000 runs, Nick Markakis. That's quite a compliment for Freddie Freeman, who's on his way to another special year here in 2018.
But you were talking about that earlier, Jeff, when the series started, that he's unique in his approach and how he can drive the ball the other way, as we've seen today. He's not just a slugger.
I tell you what I love about that was Nick's enthusiasm right there. God, he was fired up.
He was intuitive.
Brandon Kinsler, the new pitcher for Washington. Freeman greets him to start the 8th inning of a tie game. Hello. 0-1.
I think Nick said it perfect. It's a unique swing, something that you don't teach. You kind of just, you know, do it, and then all of a sudden you get used to it and it feels good, and you make the adjustments from there.
Freddie with a double in the 3rd inning. He's approaching 1,150 career hits. He scored over 600 runs now in roughly 1,100 big league games. The pitch. And he's gone 3-0. A leadoff man sure would be nice. Braves have had exactly one of them. That was Swanson's homer an inning ago.
Forget that. Give him one down the middle and let him rip it.
Is he swinging here?
If it's close.
It wasn't. A 4-pitch walk. And the go-ahead run aboard with nobody out in the 8th. So here's Markakis. Nick, a 1st inning RBI.
And yesterday their bullpen didn't walk one guy. 7 innings of relief, not one walk.
Markakis versus Kinsler. Nick is 0 for 3 against him. Fly ball well hit center, but not well enough. Taylor retreats. Freddie thinks about tagging and will have to head back to first. Perfect throw to the bag by Taylor. 1 out. Again, last year the Nationals' big Achilles heel in the first half of the year was their bullpen. Dusty Baker and some of their players told us privately that sometimes they felt like they had to win a game 2 or 3 times in order to get that 27th out. Luckily, they were playing in a division where no one really challenged them, and Mike Rizzo went out and acquired Madsen, Doolittle, and Kinsler, guys with veteran late inning experience to shore up that portion of their bullpen.
Those were huge moves.
I was also impressed with Justin Miller, who we got to see for 3 innings yesterday.
Yeah, Walt Weiss told me he had him in Colorado, and he said he's a different guy now. He threw harder with the Rockies.
Yeah, Spencer Keyboom, the catcher, you know, was talking to him yesterday, and he said Miller used to be 97, 98, and he decided to pitch, cut it. It's looking good.
Kurt fouls it back. No balls and a strike.
It's funny how many guys, Joe, you hear say that when they learn, oh, I'm going to slow it down and pitch. You never really see a guy throwing 92, 93 with cut and then say, you know what, I'm just going to throw 97.
Right. They don't have it.
It's the other way around.
Well, Kinsler's a pretty amazing story. This is a guy that had to pitch 2 years in independent baseball after missing the 2006 season after right shoulder surgery. Freddie's taken off. Kinsler steps off, and a perfect throw will nail Freeman. So 1-4 put out. Freeman caught stealing.
This was not a pickoff. This was a Max Scherzer type move. Just hold the ball a little longer. Freddie thought he had timed it right.
That's how it happens. You time up 2 or 3, and then the one time you go,
He holds it.
And so Kinsler, after pitching 2 years in independent ball, went to the Brewers organization. Worked in the front office of the Winnipeg Golden Eyes during the offseason after the 2008 year. He pitched for them. And then after 2009 was a limo driver at the Wynn Hotel in Vegas. And Suzuki checked his swing and has a seat. Then he got to Milwaukee, then to Minnesota. Last year saved 28 games with the Twins before being acquired by Washington.
A limo driver, huh? At the Wynn.
That was pretty close. That's 2 of those this inning. 1 to Freddie and now 1 to Kurt.
Kinsler ready with his 1-2 pitch. Didn't go. Left side of the Washington infield was headed for the dugout. 2-2. And Suzuki got hit, and that one smarted. He does not want to rub, but boy, that got him flush. And Suzuki, who's gone a while since he's been hit by a pitch, will make his way down the first base line, but that sounded nasty.
I hope it missed his hands. Well, that's elbow, wasn't it?
Yep, that was right on the elbow. You could hear it.
That is such a
Just
tender
above
place.
The elbow right there, yeah.
That's the 5th time Suzuki's been hit by a pitched ball, far and away the team leader for the Braves. George Poulos, the head athletic trainer, checking him out.
What that just does is, you know, Joe, it just deadens your arm. You got this tingling feeling going on. You can't feel anything.
Well, that prolongs the inning, and it brings up Camargo, who's had a flair for the dramatic in this homestand. How about one of those patented laser beams to the monkey grass and right?
So many guys wear that elbow guard. That's one situation where you wish Kurt had had one on.
Ball 1.
It's funny though, it's just like a shin guard when you're hitting. I tried to wear an elbow guard for a little bit. It's just, for some guys it's uncomfortable. I couldn't do it.
Trying to keep the ball away from him.
Preston Tucker's on deck. Camargo has singled, popped up, and walked today.
It's a good place to look for something off speed if you want.
Not close. Ball 3. So Kinsler has to work overtime here. Leadoff walk, a fly out. Freddie caught stealing. Now Suzuki at first after being hit by a pitch and a 3-0 count. All bets are off now. As we approach 4 o'clock in Atlanta. Bottom of the 8th inning. Tie game. Game 4. Braves and Nationals. And the pitch. Strike called. Got the inside corner. And it was a strike.
It's okay. Got one left.
So how will Washington play Suzuki at first? Will Reynolds back up? Apparently so. So he'll be off to the races.
He just missed the spot, but he'd missed so far away on those other pitches that probably looked like it was way inside.
Kinsler checks the runner at first. Reynolds plays behind him. There goes Suzuki. The pitch. Ground ball hit toward Turner. He'll have to make the throw to first, and he did. And that retires the side. To the ninth we go. 2, 3, and 4 on the Washington lineup card. Still tied 2 apiece. At the top of the ninth inning, we're tied 2 apiece. Arodys Vizcaino rested, ready, and he'll face the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for Washington.
'25th game, 10 out of 12 in saves. Vizcaino's last work was a save against Washington on the 31st. Gave up a hit, but struck out the side.
That was the night him and Winkler went 5 Ks on 7 guys. After Newcomb's great 7 innings.
And I think it was you, Jeff, that talking about Vizcaino that night about how he's better when he's had a couple of days rest.
Well, let's see how he fares with Soto, who's gotten the ball out of the infield exactly 0 times in 3 at-bats today. Two runs on 2 hits for the Nationals, 2 runs, 5 hits for the Braves. Atlanta's left 7 on base. The Nationals have stranded 2. Rendon to follow here in the 9th. And he's gone 2-0. Three balls, no strikes. Overpowered him there at 98. So Rhodey's back in the count. Soto again spreads out with 2 strikes. And here it is. Popped up back toward us and into the seats.
Something we were told about Soto before the series, that he gets behind in the count, he'll spread out, choke up, just try to put the ball in play.
Yeah, I see Rourke warming up down there, Joe.
No kidding.
Yeah. I thought that was him. That's what I was looking at with the socks up. And
ball 4.
Oh, boy, that was a good one.
So the leadoff walk in a tie game in the 9th inning. Fast runner at first, and now a world of options for Dave Martinez. With Rendon up there, he's 0 for 3. 7 walks for Soto against 9 strikeouts. That's pretty impressive.
This is Rorick's bullpen day, so maybe they figure get an inning out of him if it's tied in the 9th.
Uh-huh.
Because you see Doolittle on the other side.
Yeah, with the guy getting on, leading off the inning with Soto on base, Doolittle starts playing catch, the closer.
A strike to Rendon. 0-1 to the Nationals' third baseman. Cubs did beat the Mets. That's a 2-0 final at Citi Field. Chicago sweeps 4 games from the reeling New York Mets. Began the season 11-1. Strike 2.
Steven Matz pitched for the Mets, so they were happy to get him back out after walking off the field here at SunTrust Park with a finger issue.
That's a guy that hasn't been able to stay healthy for them.
The Mets are 16-29 since that 11-1 start. Did he go?
Yes, he did. Oh my goodness.
Man.
Dan Bellino said no swing for Rendon.
There's a big loop in this.
That was a weird swing.
Mm-hmm.
Soto another half step on that lead at first. The 1-2 pitch is popped up. Long run. Can anybody get there? Ozzie tried, couldn't. And the ball gets behind Ender, but backed up. So a blue hit for Rendon, and the Nationals have it set up first and second with nobody out.
That's a tough break because that was a really good pitch by Viz right there. Ran it in on him, you can see.
No man's land. Anthony Rendon had been 0 for 5 against him. You saw him make a motion there like, I'd like that baseball. I finally got a hit off this guy, you know.
Well, you got Reynolds up there. A strikeout would be nice to get. Or a double play ball. Reynolds 0 for 3. And up and away, ball 1.
I was just about to say we might be getting a break because he usually doesn't bunt, but
he showed it.
I think even he's smiling about that attempt. Camargo guarding the line at third base. And Vizcaino having trouble throwing strikes. 13 pitches, 7 out of the zone.
Say some of these though he ain't missing by much.
No, and I thought the ball 4 to Soto was a good pitch. He did too.
The 2-1 popped up. Foul ground. Freddie gives chase, but no chance. See if he can put him away right here at 2-2.
Break out your best slider.
Line to center. Ender on the run. He's going to get there, and no advance.
That is a base running mistake by a young kid right there, Joe. And he knows it. Look at him pounding his helmet.
Wonder if Ender deked him a little bit. Looked like he broke in at a moment and then broke back. Is that what Soto read?
I don't know, it looked like he had a pretty good read on it, though. I just think he got caught not thinking in no man's land.
It helped.
You bet. Now the double play in order for Brian Goodwin, who has struck out 3 times. And a good start to him, 0-1. He's had to throw a lot of pitches, 17 of them. And number 18 is coming for Goodwin, who's down a strike. Ball 2.
His arm's fresh. It's coming out of his hand nicely. He's just missing.
Got that call. That was close. 2-2.
That's a huge call.
Yeah, he gave him that one, I feel like.
Having a good one up there, 3-1 versus 2-2 when he's already struck out 3 times.
Here's another thing, though, where you talk about him giving him the strike on that corner when it's a left-handed hitter up.
Yeah.
See if they go there again. Goodwin protects. And we'll see another pitch.
I think you just stay away, Joe.
I don't want to see him try to trick him inside.
They did. He took it.
Yeah, why not?
It worked.
Goodwin strikes out for the 4th time.
Boys, he had a bad series.
That's hitting your spot right there on the inside corner.
That's what I worried about. That is his spot.
But now you got to worry about Taylor, who's doubled, walked, stolen 2 bases, and is also bounced out. 2 on, 2 out now. And too high, ball 1.
Taylor's 2 for 4 against Arodis with a double.
Perfect pitch. Made him throw a strike, and he did. Even count. Well, he came back from a 2-1 count to get Goodwin. Can he come back and get Taylor here? Three and 1.
It was a pretty good take by Taylor. He likes the ball out away from him and likes the fastball and laid off that pitch.
Wind has shifted. It's blowing straight in toward the Nationals dugout here. 3-1. Bell tied. Taylor called back. Full count. But now with a 3-2 count, Soto and Rendon, both with good speed, will be running. Crowd on its feet.
That's a strike.
Was a strike. Pressure on the defense. Make a play. Knock it down.
Listen to this place.
shot came out. Two on, nobody out, and somehow Vizcaino wiggles off the hook. A line out and 2 strikeouts sends us to the bottom of the 9th inning tied.
Visit Synovus for your banking, lending, and investing needs. Synovus, the bank of here.
Well, the Braves have won 15 games at home this year. They have walked off in 5 of those 15 home victories. They have a chance to do the same in this 9th inning with Tucker, Swanson, and a pinch hitter coming up as Washington, woefully thin in their relief corps, turns to Tanner Roark, a starting pitcher, to work the bottom of the 9th.
There are his numbers. 98 pitches on Thursday. I told you about Rodriguez throwing 83 pitches on Wednesday. Well, Roark's worked since then, and all 11 of those games as a starter. He has pitched out of the bullpen before in his career, but a real test right here for him.
You can tell this was on Dave Martinez's mind, though, coming in today, because otherwise he would have thrown his bullpen earlier. Sunday morning, usually guys do it.
It's gotten very dark here, too, all of a sudden. Ed Mangan was out on the field talking to Tom Hallion, the crew chief, between innings, too.
Let's see if Tucker can launch one and make the rain irrelevant. Pitch. Ground ball to second, won't get it done. Defoe at the cut of the grass. Roark gets a ground out, 1 away.
That play's not indicative, but we've been talking about Murphy and what he'll mean to their lineup. But Defoe's made a half a dozen plays in this series that Daniel Murphy would not have made because he doesn't have the range.
But for me, just Murphy brings so much from an offensive standpoint that it's tough to argue.
Such a threat. And somebody to hit in front of or behind Harper with a presence.
Dansby was 0 for 2 against Roark. And for his career is 0 for 14 against him. Let's see if he can change that.
Does Dansby have any multi-homer games? I don't think he does he?
I want to say no. And if he has, it's been a long time.
It's a great time for your first one, if not.
He tied the game in the 7th with a solo shot. The pitch. I'd imagine, fellas, that's exactly where they're going to try to pitch him. They saw him turn on that inside fastball from Kelly. Early this year, Dansby was taking that pitch off the plate and whacking it in the right field. Downstairs, ball 2. Charlie Culberson's on deck. He'll hit for Vizcaino. Braves have
right-handed hitters left on their bench. They've already used Ryan Flaherty. He batted in the 7th inning. For Anibal Sanchez today. The 2-1 count from Roark.
Like he was trying to take that off-speed pitch the other way.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Good cut. Watching Dansby, always likes to knock the dirt out of his spike, hitting right on the toe of his foot. You ever hit yourself in the ankle doing that?
Oh, it's the worst feeling.
And embarrassing because you can't do anything about it.
And you just want to lay down because it hurts.
Uh-huh.
Dansby digging in now. The 2-2 pitch with the bases empty. Rendon hugging the line at third. Here it is. Line into left field, a base hit. His first career hit against Roark. And he's going to try for 2. The throw is going to beat him. Dansby says, take a look. He tried to deke Soto, who threw a strike to second, and Swanson called out.
Did he hesitate a little around first?
He did.
That what he was doing?
I think he tried to deke him.
Yeah.
Tom Hallion made the call, and Dansby immediately pointed to the Braves dugout that he beat the rap at second base. And so Atlanta will take a look at this.
He might have got that fingertip in.
Well, if he did deke him, Soto made a good throw.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
safe.
he's
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah, he beat it.
For sure. No wonder Dansby, he was safe by a good bit, Joe.
Yeah, the second base umpire, Tom Hallion, waited a few seconds to make the call, too. He wasn't sure.
So it always goes back to clear and convincing evidence.
Oh, that's clear.
The center field angle we had was real clear. He's safe. This one's going to be overturned, and that'll be a huge play.
I guess you got to score that a double, right?
Yeah.
We've been saying this has got to be overturned for weeks. Finally.
Braves get one.
Finally.
Ron Brownick, one of our great Fox producers, sends us a monthly report on the status of review. Interestingly, roughly 49% of the replays have been overturned from the 1st of May, or from the start of the season until the end of May. And that one overturned here, and that's a big play.
Well, I promise you, there haven't been that many overturned for the Braves.
Yeah.
No, we're on the lower totem pole, I'll tell you that.
Uh-huh.
So Dansby, with a hustle double, is the winning run in scoring position, and Charlie Culberson is coming up.
You're right, Chip. He grounded first like he wasn't going to go anywhere. And he did make it. He was right.
A hit could win it. Charlie Culberson hitting .229. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Got one up in the zone and couldn't connect.
Derek Lilliquist was out talking to Roark possibly about pitching to Culberson and or Inciarte, just giving an update on scouting reports and what have you. First base open.
No balls and a strike. Big lead. High fly ball. Belted deep left. Soto back. Charlie walks him off again. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Boy, Joe, that was a no-doubter right there. Woo!
What an incredible homestand for Charlie Culberson. Center cut, and he was in launch mode.
Unbelievable. What a homestand. 2 pinch hit walk-off homers. Are you kidding me?
That ball was crushed. Heater just a little bit on the inner half, and he turned on it and knew it.
6th walk-off win for the Braves at home. Atlanta wins this series against the Nationals. They pick up 2 games on Washington in the standings. Excellent starting and relief pitching. And Charlie Culberson's going to spend a long time in the shower after the Braves beat the Nationals by a final score of 4-2 and take a game-and-a-half lead in the division to San Diego to start the West Coast trip tomorrow. What an unbelievable finish. A hot, muggy day. No one wanted to face extra innings, and Charlie Culberson made the Braves happiest of all. He and Dansby get it done in the 9th inning. Swanson a hustle double. Culberson the long homer, and Andre standing by with Atlanta's hitting hero.
Well, you started the homestand off the right way, but ending it like this, what's going through your mind going through the plate?
No idea. Just got a good pitch to hit. It all worked out.
The Gatorade shower just fried Andre's microphone. But guys, Charlie Culberson, as he's done so many times this year, comes through with a big play in the 9th inning. A 2-run homer sends the crowd of 33,000 home in delirium.
Just like the one he hit to open this homestand, first game of the doubleheader, it was a very easy swing.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, as exciting as that was, I just want to remind everybody of the 8th and 9th today. We had a healthy Dan Winkler, healthy Arodys Vizcaíno. They got the job done. Culberson did good. 3 out of 4. You can't be more excited if you're this team right now.
That's why I said it was more important to the Braves to win this game. If the Nationals come in here and split, they're going to be mighty happy campers to go home winning the last 2 games.
Happy flight.
Indeed, after a 5-3 homestand, Atlanta's a game-and-a-half up in the East. We'll talk about that and more on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. It's coming up next.